It's the bonding chemical. So even if you think it's going to be a booty call, if it's great sex, you're going to get attached whether you want to or not.
So what's good, homies? It's your man, Dr BoA. We do a lot of talk about why women seem to get caught up with the bad boys, to get caught up with the men who don't want them, or spend all their time with the men who just want to have them and cheat on them and run them around and do all of those things. And we think that it's a woman's choice for the most part. We believe that women choose to do that, but there's a deeper explanation for this. And there's a psychologist who recently did a quick video on advising women not to be with those men who you cannot see yourself falling in love with, because in the event that you have some amazing intimacy, you're going to get caught up, and it's a chemical reaction. We all know about dopamine, the feel good body made chemical compound. We know about that, but she's going to tell you about another one, and it is the hormonal balance that allows a woman to bond with her child when she's breastfeeding. So it's the bonding chemical. And when a woman has some amazing intimacy with a man, no matter who the man is, it could be a man she doesn't want, it could be a man that doesn't want her. It doesn't matter. These chemicals are going to be released. These chemicals are going to be released, and that woman's going to find herself caught up. Now, here's the thing: you ask yourself, okay, well, that's one time. Why do women continue to do this? Because these chemicals feel good when they release. And so they chase that feeling. It's like a high. They chase that feeling. And so the very next time they're intimate with a man, they're hoping it's as good as the previous man was. So they could get that feeling again. But then there they go, caught up with another man. And these are the type of scenarios where a woman gets comfortable, she starts to really vibe with a man, and before you know it, they're having unprotected intimacy and she's got a child. And then she's with the next man and she's got a child. This is how this goes. Now, am I saying there are never any women who choose this? No. But I'm saying the majority of the time, it's this chemical reaction. Well, let's listen to her explain it, and then we'll come back and chop it up on the real tip.
Listen to me. Do not have sex if you're a woman with someone you don't want to fall in love with, especially if it's good sex. Because when we have an orgasm, our brains get washed with the neurochemicals of oxytocin and dopamine, especially oxytocin, which is what breastfeeding mothers release to bond them to their babies.
Now, I want you to think about the strong bond that a mother has from breastfeeding her baby. It's the recommended form of feeding an infant because there is no better bonding experience. And if a woman's baby won't latch on, she's an emotional wreck. She thinks her baby doesn't love her, her baby doesn't like her baby doesn't even want to be her baby. And women have deep psychological issues. A lot of times that postpartum depression comes from that. There are several recorded instances where that postpartum depression comes from the fact that baby doesn't want to latch on to his mother. And that's a psychological thing for a mom that puts her in a terrible headspace. So I want you to think about how strong that chemical is and think about a woman being bonded to a man this way.
Babies. It's the bonding chemical. So even if you think it's going to be a booty call, if it's great sex, you're going to get attached whether you want to or not. Guys have too much testosterone already to be affected in the same way by the oxytocin. Their brains get washed with it too. They just keep coming back for the booty calls, and you think you're doing booty calls, but then don't understand why you're so upset when he doesn't ask for your number the next day or doesn't want to hang out, even though you never wanted to have a relationship with him in the first place.
Now, I want you to think about something she said. Guys have too much testosterone already, which means that your testosterone is valuable to you, man. You cannot afford to waste it. You cannot afford to not manifest it continually by eating the right foods, working out, doing the things that help build and increase testosterone. Because as you age, your testosterone is going to lower anyway. But I'm going to tell you, a lot of times it's lowering because you're inviting more feminine energy into your life. A married man's testosterone is going to lower quicker than a single man's testosterone, unless that single man is out here living a feminine life or some type of less than manly life. Otherwise, under normal circumstances, all things being equal, a married man with that feminine energy around him every day, he's going to have to compromise too much. Or let's say a man has a female supervisor at his job. His testosterone is going to lower because he has to lower his testosterone to respect the woman supervisor that he has at his job. That's why I tell you, man, to put yourself in the best position to win. You have to put yourself in a position to win because you have to preserve your testosterone by being able to be a masculine alpha man in your environment. You look at a lion, one male lion, he can be the strongest male lion on the savannah, but he doesn't run the entire savannah. He has his territory. In his territory, he is the alpha male. In your territory, you ain't got to be the alpha male of the world. You just got to be the alpha male of your territory. And this is one of the benefits of having that testosterone. These chemicals that affect women and make them do these emotional things, you don't have that if you man your testosterone and guard it the way you're supposed to. So ask yourself, if you're caught up in a situation where you all lovey-dovey with every woman you meet, have to ask yourself, why is this oxytocin affecting you that way?
It's the oxytocin. So don't have great sex with someone you don't want to fall in love with. Listen.
Now, I want y'all to understand one thing. The reality of the scenario is this. You can live however you want to live. But if you don't do the right things, you're going to find yourself in bad situations, situations that can be avoided. And this is for men also. If you don't want a woman to be caught up on you like that, well, you got some woman you're not even in a relationship with coming through, flatten your tires, bust the windows on your car. You ain't even in a relationship with her, but you done let her get caught up with you. That's why I tell you, men, do not be intimate with a woman you can't see being in your life long term. So when guys tell you just go out and have sex with as many women as you can, those guys don't have any morality. Those guys don't, they're not perpetuating any, and I'm not going to even say they don't have morality. They're perpetuating that you don't have any. They're perpetuating that you don't have any wisdom. They're perpetuating that you don't have any understanding. They're convincing you to throw aside your logic and go out here and do something that's going to get you jammed up. Because if you really, really going out here giving a woman the most amazing intimacy she ever had in her life, she don't get caught up on you. And while you trying to just be, just pump and dump or do whatever you're trying to do, you got to understand that that woman caught up on you. That woman's developing feelings for you. And when a woman develops feeling for you, it don't matter if you don't share those same feelings. Her feelings are going to dominate her actions and influence everything that she does. And so that's why you're going to have your windows bust out your car, have your tires flattened, probably lose your job because you come up there cutting up, probably run off any woman you try to be with. I'm telling you what's real, man. So it's not a good combination to go out here, meet women who look good that you really don't want to be with. You only want to be intimate with them. Do everything in your power to give them the most amazing, absolutely amazing, intimate experience you can, and then think you're just gonna leave on with your life. You're not. You're not. Because here's the thing. You're probably not just going to be intimate with her once. When you find a woman you're born with well enough to be intimate with her and really enjoy the experience, you're going to do it multiple times. And every time, she's going to get more and more caught up. That oxytocin is going to get her caught up while that dopamine is giving her the good feeling that makes her keep coming back to even be affected by more oxytocin. Now, the oxytocin ain't gonna make you get caught up with her emotionally, but it's gonna make you keep running back to get the intimacy to release that dopamine. So you're being bonded to the experience, she's being bonded to the intimacy. And that's still not a good recipe because that means you're gonna keep coming back, coming back, coming back, not understanding that she's going to be getting the detriment of being affected by that oxytocin and becoming more and more and more abundant to you. That's why a man can have a side chick and then she'll start cutting up and try to come to his house and do all of that. That's why a woman can have a side dude. He won't never show up, won't never come to the house. He'll just be the side dude for years. A woman ain't gonna be your side chick for years because if you're giving her that amazing experience, her feelings are gonna get caught up. This is why her feelings get caught up. It don't matter what you tell her. You can't talk a woman out of being affected by the oxytocin. The oxytocin is gonna affect her regardless. So you as a man have to understand that this is what's gonna take place in these scenarios. And in closing, man, I'll say this. You have to understand that the way things go can't be affected by us. There are chemical in the human body that we can affect. There are particular nuances of the psychological aspect of a female that we can affect. There are emotionality aspects of a female that we can affect. All we could do is make sure that we guard ourselves from them and make sure that we don't put a woman in the wrong headspace by not paying attention to these things. So this is a very valuable piece of information, not just for women, but for men as well. If you don't want a woman caught up on you that you can't get rid of, you have to still vet women for more than just attractiveness. Because if you put yourself in this situation, you're liable to be one of these guys who has something very, very bad done to you by a woman who you never intended to be with in the first place. And you can't figure out why she's in love with you. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.